Turning a wrestler face is one of the many feel-good moments in wrestling, especially when a crowd is already behind them. Now, there's a number of reasons why someone would turn face. Maybe they have done a lot of evil deeds and karma has finally come to visit and they see the error of their ways. Or perhaps they've seen too much success and their partners become jealous and turn on them. Either way, a face turn when the time is right can have the crowd really behind a superstar they were just rooting against. But that begs the question, what is the most effective way to turn a superstar face? Now, I have my opinion and I'll share that later as usual, but let's go ahead and dissect together 10 effective ways wrestlers turn face by none other than wrestling flashbacks. So now, this video is a year old, so let's go in and see, does this still hold up, which I'm pretty sure it will, but let's see what examples they give us in this video.
In wrestling, the concept of good versus evil has long since been a tried and true formula.
Absolutely.
And true superstar-making moments are often born from when a wrestler turns from one side to the other.
Facts.
Like when a heel becomes a babyface. The turn itself can draw a huge pop from the crowd, and that energy can be transferred to the wrestler, who the fans now get to cheer every
Daniel Bryan. Oh, against the Nexus.
Video, we'll look at 10 effective ways a wrestler can turn babyface.
Let's go.
Being a part of a heel faction is often
Oh,
a
yes. This is one of the ones that I had in mind. This was one of the ones I had in mind. When I told y'all that a wrestler had too much success and his partners turn on him, this is the one I had in mind.
But there will always
Young
come a
Randy
day when it's time to move on.
Yep, this is exactly the one I had in mind.
Is never as sweet as leaving on your own terms. The official exit from the faction will always
oh yeah, this one,
gather
the
a good
corporation
reaction from the crowd.
Oh,
as
the
wrestlers
authority.
ditch their heel allies to instead become an ally of the fans.
Yes, this was a big pop. I remember because he was deciding whether or not he was going to go to Raw or SmackDown for which championship he was going to go after. Thumbs down. Thumbs down.
A wrestler may choose to join forces with the babyface faction or a partner to
yeah, I remember that.
This
was
come in the form of a reunion between a tag team.
That's true.
Or a group that the fans are happy to see back together.
Oh, DX, yes, yes. There was nothing like a DX reunion, man. And that's what was so good about D-Generation X. They took it away before we got tired of it. Or at least from what I remember when I was a kid. They took it away. They either broke up, somebody turned on somebody else. It wasn't so much of like, I don't want to make the NWO comparison, but it wasn't like we finally got tired of it, then they decided to split. It was anytime that DX wasn't fully in unison to get together, I was always waiting for a DX reunion. Because then you had Shawn versus Triple H. Then you had the Outlaws versus, I want to say it was the Outlaws. No. I think it was Road Dogg and X-Pac. They were feuding with the rest of DX over the ownership, or like, I guess the rights to DX or whatever. Like, I remember there was like an inner faction turmoil or whatnot, but absolutely love when DX was making a reunion or a comeback, man. Oh, and the Shield came back together.
Face if they've been turned on perhaps by their own partner or manager. This earns the wrestler instant sympathy.
Oh man,
as the fans now look forward to seeing them get their revenge.
Oh man, this is when he gave it to Seth. He gave the Universal Championship to Kevin Owens on a silver platter. Damn.
And once they do, it helps the crowd love them even more.
Yep.
While the heel gets their much deserved comeuppance.
Yep. This works out perfectly for both parties, man. Is that a Samoan Spike?
We spoke about wrestlers turning face by leaving a faction. But what about when they finally set themselves free after being under the thumb of a heel manager or partner for so long? This type of turn can be a
Oh, yes! Yes, bro. Do y'all remember Damien Sandow when he was Mizdow? He got so much more of a pop. He got more of a pop than the Miz. And I don't know how he made this gimmick work when he was his stunt double. Have no idea. But I do recall whenever Miz and Mizdow was in the ring, always looking at Mizdow versus looking at Miz. It was more entertaining. The sad part about that is you only had so much of a ceiling with that because you were imitating someone else. So when it was time, when he finally split from the Miz, it didn't really work out that much after that. But I definitely enjoyed it while it was happening, though. That's a big fact.
Burn as the wrestler gradually becomes more and more fed up with the heel's antics. This
Oh,
makes
yes.
the moment in which the turn happens so impactful, as the superstar turning becomes liberated, much to the delight of the fans.
Yep, they get back. Bing. $1 million belt. That's a beautiful belt too.
Respect is huge in wrestling.
Respect.
Gotta be a New Day.
And it can also play a big role in a story. As a heel can earn the respect of a face, perhaps by displaying babyface behavior or through a great performance in a match. The seal approval from a popular
they showing AEW up in here?
Usually
Okay.
result in the crowd getting behind the heel.
This was the one right here. Because the craziest part about it, the way Hogan and Rock was working this match, obviously we could tell that the crowd was getting behind Hogan. Rock started low-key working like a heel. He kind of played the heel in his role or in this match. And I guess it was like they were reading the crowd and they were reading the reactions, and he ended up working the match more so like a heel. That way, the babyface love would come to Hogan, because it was obvious that they were getting ready to go back to the red and yellow Hogan. This one this was one I could visually see them making. Maybe it was an audible mid-match, because the crowd started to turn against Rock a little bit.
Heel, if they haven't already, thus cementing the turn.
Man, y'all remember
A
the
wrestler's
pandemic?
return following absence will typically garner a big reaction from the audience, and that's usually why the person returning comes back as a face.
Bro,
as the fans are so...
That is true. That is true. I'm pretty sure they're going to have Triple H on here. When he came back from his quad injury, I'm pretty sure Triple H is going to be on here. Now, I wondered, they showed Edge, but I wondered, well, that return, I mean, usually when you return, because we've missed you, you got to play a face for a little bit.
Overjoyed to see them
Y2J
again.
when he
now,
came
that
back.
doesn't mean the wrestler can't turn the positive reaction around on the crowd by staying a heel.
There it is. This pop when he came back was, oh my God, I remember that. It was thunderous, because they were doing these video packages of him rehabbing before he came all the way back. But when that fool came back, man, I was like, bro, how can you cheer against him? And then I think Kurt Angle came out after this, and that kind of played into it a little bit. I don't think he stayed too much of a face for too long, but absolutely when he came back, though,
generate heat.
That one was
is at
crazy.
Its best when the fans are encouraged to get behind the wrestler. Even if they may have despised each other before, the crowd will still pop big for the wrestler making their comeback.
Facts.
And what the superstar does from there will dictate whether the fans continue to cheer them.
Yep. Yep. When Rock came back, you can't go wrong with a return, man.
Common tropes.
Oh, this is one of my absolute favorite, just go in and whoop ass moments, man. When Stone Cold came in and he was stunning everybody. This when he was at Friendly's, he was at that little tap room or whatever. And I think Mr. McMahon was trying to hey man, Austin, we need your help. We need you to represent the WWE in this invasion. We need your help, man. You are the face. You are the leader. We need you to come through. And Stone Cold was like thinking about it, having beers, shooting pool. Then he came back and oh my God, bro. He came in and was just wreaking havoc, bro.
10, it gets a good reaction from the crowd.
Stunners for
this
everybody.
Is when it's the heel who's saving the babyface, especially when no one sees it coming. A turn occurring off the back of a heroic selfless act helps endear the wrestler to the audience.
Not yours.
One of the most natural and organic ways a wrestler becomes a face is by winning over the same people that used to boo them.
This one right here, this is the one. This is the one right here. Winning over the crowd. Because the thing is, man, this just happened low-key. I'll say this. I'll give you some clues of who I'm talking about. Y'all should know who that is, right? This man definitely has a face turn coming. It has to whenever he returns, man. Roman Reigns. This man had "We Want Roman" chants when they saw Solo Sikoa starting to take over the tribal chief position. Interim, I guess. But this man, without even trying, I don't even think they even tried. And now they had "We Want Roman" chants. That right there is, if they don't turn Roman face when he comes back in some way, shape, or form, big missed opportunity, because that return when he comes back, oh my God, bro. That return is going to be ridiculous.
This type of turn can feel like a slow burn, since typically the reactions for the heel will gradually become more and more positive, to the point where there is no doubt.
Oh yeah, this made Becky. This absolutely made Becky. And the thing is, what I hate about this, man, is they took too long for the Becky Lynch Nia Jax feud to capitalize and put like a bookmark, or not even a bookmark, but to put like an exclamation point on that feud. They tried to run the feud back, but it was just too late, man. It was just too late.
Behind the wrestler.
Rusev, they got over, man.
And this makes the eventual turn.
This one right. Oh my God, bro. The pipe bomb, fam. I think CM Punk brought back so many wrestling fans after this, because there's a lot of people said before this they stopped watching wrestling, or they wasn't really into wrestling like they used to be, and then they heard about the pipe bomb, fam.
So sweet. Standing up to a heel is one way to turn that allows the wrestler turning face to immediately look brave, and this works even better as a turn if the babyface really takes it to the heel or ultimately defeats them.
Oh.
Crushing the champion. Nia Jax has done it.
Lastly, we'll touch
the
on the
double turn.
The double turn
The
is
double
rare,
turn,
and usually
classic.
only takes place when the specific situation calls for it.
This is a very unique type of, I don't think it happens that often. The two that I can remember off the top of my head was Austin and Brett.
It's a way for two wrestlers in a match or angle to completely reverse roles. This type of turn can be in the works in the weeks prior to the eventual match.
Yeah, the two that I remember is Austin, Brett, and who else was the other one? Mankind and The Rock. And I want to say, if you want to count, I don't think it's necessarily like it counts as much, but the Hogan Rock at WrestleMania 18, maybe you can count that, but I know for sure, I think the most famous one is Austin and Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13.
Well, there may have been a moment that signaled the turn was about to come.
To me, the most effective way is when you have the crowd, when you win over the crowd. LA Knight is a prime example. They wanted to make LA Knight heel. He attacked Rey Mysterio. He was doing all of these heelistic tactics, but we liked him too much. So when they finally made a shift to where he was turning face, oh man, that was the smartest move that they could have done. All of the yes, everything was working for LA Knight, man. But the only thing better than a face turn is a heel turn. And in this video, we take a look at the art of turning heel and the most effective ways to do so.